Chapter 3. The Mercury Response. Staying still in the static. When a student first attempts to align with the 0.0 degrees point, their internal gray city programming will often resist. The brain recognizes its running loops are being threatened, and it will try to pull the teacher into the mud to validate its panic. They may project their ancestral trauma, their systemic debt, their false labels directly at you. They may use words designed to provoke guilt, urgency, or sympathy. The sovereign teacher does not fight the projection and does not weaponize silence against it either. You simply remain what you already are. The rules of engagement. The atmospheric boundary. When the student begins to project their red shift distress, do not lean toward them and do not harden against them. Engage your internal bellows and widen your own structure. A wider, calmer vessel gives their static somewhere to settle rather than somewhere to bounce off. The law of the single ingredient. The modified mind will present complex, chaotic explanations to justify its tilt. You do not need to untangle all of it at once. Reply to the root of what they've said, not every branch, and let the rest wait. The Mercury tongue. When you must speak, speak plainly and briefly. If the student pushes for a debate about their trauma, you do not need to win it. A calm silence, offered without contempt, often does more than an argument. But it is an offering, not a weapon. The sonar strike. During their resistance, do not analyze their words for ammunition. Place your internal focus on your own steadiness. You are not piercing their defenses. You are simply staying present long enough for the noise to run its course. The physical stance. When a student's old loop activates, they may look to you to rescue them or to fight them. You do neither. Be the container. You do not absorb their panic, and you do not push it away. You hold steady. You create a room calm enough that their static has somewhere to settle rather than somewhere to bounce off. You are not a rescuer. To take over a student's struggle for them is a kindness that costs them their own strength. You do not pull them out of the mud. You stay present while they remember how to stand up. Be the mirror. Lock your spine, keep your gaze level and kind, and let your calm be visible rather than performed. You are not trying to make their chaos unbearable by contrast. You are simply offering a steadier surface than the one they came in with. Chapter 4. The First Chime. The Opening. When the static exhausts itself, there is a moment. Most teachers miss it. The student has stopped speaking, but more importantly, they have stopped vibrating. Their shoulders descend. Their eyes become present. Their breathing settles. The room becomes level. This is the opening. The law of the tuning fork, do not rush to fill it. The gray city fears silence and immediately stuffs the gap with explanations, advice, motivation, or stories. The architect does the opposite. The architect waits. 3 breaths, 5 breaths, sometimes 10. The student must feel the silence before they hear the signal. When the atmosphere settles, the teacher offers the first chime, not a lecture, not a solution, a coordinate. A single sentence, a single question. What are you noticing now? What remains when the story stops? Where is the pressure located? What happens if you do not move for 1 minute? Observe the observer. Illuminating the doorway. The teacher speaks only enough to direct attention. The student must perform the recall themselves. The moment the teacher begins carrying the student's realization for them, the transmission ends. Not because it is forbidden, but because it stops working. The student must see it, feel it, and own it. The teacher simply illuminates the doorway. The student walks through it.